Max Verstappen has been criticized for his actions at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Many believe what he did was wrong, considering what Sergio Perez has done for him in the past 2 seasons. Verstappen provided some insights to this situation on his team radio, but it was a little controversial and a bit difficult to understand. But could Verstappen's actions at the Brazilian Grand Prix be justified in favor of the Dutchman? Let's first take a neutral stand on this issue and analyze the whole situation, supported with facts and data, to understand what really happened and if it is justifiable. The Brazilian Grand Prix never disappoints, as the Grand Prix was full of action and unexpected turnarounds. Kevin Magnussen took his maiden career pole at Interlaagos. George Russell took his maiden Formula One Grand Prix victory last weekend. Mercedes were able to get that first win of the season to avoid a winless season since 2011. But none of these incidents made it to the headlines. All we have been talking about is Verstappen and Perez all week long, as we witnessed a defiance of team orders by Verstappen to let Perez through, a rare sight within the Red Bull team. First, let's look at why team orders played its part the Brazilian Grand Prix. This is all about the runners-up position in the Drivers' World Championship. From the result at Interlagos, both Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc are tied on points, standing at 290 points each. If Max did allow Perez through, Perez would be second on the standing with 292 points. We also noticed that Leclerc was requesting team orders to allow Charles to P3, which would have meant a gain of 3 points, resulting in Leclerc leading Perez by 3 points in the championship. But Ferrari team did not make a move about this, declining Leclerc's request. Now, let's look at what happened at the Brazilian Grand Prix within Red Bull. Lando Norris had a power unit failure, which triggered a late safety car. Many drivers dived into the pits for a change of tires. Both Ferrari drivers pitted for soft tires, as did Max Verstappen. But Sergio Perez stayed out on the medium compound tires. At that point itself, it was expected for Perez to lose track positions after the race restarted, and he did lose places to Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, and Fernando Alonso. Now, Sergio was at P6 and Max Verstappen was at P7. Red Bull used team orders to swap the 2 Red Bulls' positions with around 4 racing laps remaining, to give a chance to Verstappen to pass Alonso and Leclerc to steal some points off the Ferrari. But Verstappen was not able to make those gains, therefore, his race engineer, Gianpiero Lambiase, asked Max to give back the position to Perez. But we saw Max did not hand the position back, and in replying to his race engineer, Max told, "I told you already last time, you guys, don't ask that again to me." Okay, are we clear about that? Sergio Perez was surprised after Brazil. I have nothing to say, really. I mean, after all I've done for him, it's a bit disappointing to be honest, Perez added. I was told to let him by that I was going to get back the position. I don't know what was the communication with him on his side. Many racing fans were shocked to see this sort of an incident, because we have seen how much of a team player Sergio Perez has been since he joined Red Bull. Like, he is one of the biggest factors for Max being a 2-time world champion, mostly. Yes, one could argue that Max has driven nicely, but Sergio has done all from the second driver's perspective to help Max, like at Turkey last season where he defended against Hamilton, and mainly Abu Dhabi last year where Perez reduced an advantage of almost 8 seconds from Hamilton. If not for Perez, Hamilton would have pulled a gap to Verstappen, which would have given Hamilton the chance to pit under the late safety car last year. Even Max admired the help Perez gave him last year by acknowledging Sergio Perez as a legend. Then, why did not Max give up the position to Perez, considering that he got the place by team orders, and he also had nothing to lose in this race, so it's not a lot to ask, right? According to Verstappen, it is a lot to ask, and when media asked about this, he always said that his actions were meant to be a reply for some incident that happened in the past. He did not reveal what the incident was, but the media and Formula One fans were quick to point out that the incident could very well be Sergio's crash during Monaco's qualifying. As we all know, Sergio Perez has a big crash at Monaco during qualifying. But nothing about this made headlines then, so why is it making headlines now? It's because some think that Perez did not have an accident, but a planned crash during qualifying to secure his P3 position from his teammate, who was P4 at the time. Monaco is a tough track and a small mistake made can result in the car ending in the wall, but to say that a crash was made intentionally, that is a huge accusation. To see it for ourselves, we should look at onboards and telemetry data, which can provide a better view on the crash. First, on the onboards, we can see that Sergio is navigating through the turns, and at turn 8, the crash happens. If you slow the video down, you can see that when he spins, he does not turn the steering on the opposite direction. Normally when drivers spins their cars, they do turn the steering fully on the opposite direction to try and stop the spin, or to at least take the spin under control. But with this video here, we see no intentions of any sort from Perez to correct the car, he just did let the car spin and crash. Next, the telemetry data. Thanks to Yellowcenter for posting this video on YouTube, which we are about to use for some analysis purpose. First, have a look at his first Q1 lap. Now, have a look at his Q2 lap, and in slow motion, you can see that Perez is a bit eager on the throttle when approaching turn 8. Whereas on the previous lap, he took that turn under braking. It's a different approach he tried, but it was enough to spin his car around. With these data, we cannot say that Perez did the crash deliberately, cause we have seen many drivers been eager on the throttle to find that extra tenth or two, but drivers have more data available for them to view. And Max might have found something a bit odd in the data to suggest that Perez did the crash on purpose, as Verstappen had to back off a lap in which he was improving. When asked from Perez about this, he told media, "The rumor is wrong, this happened so many races ago that it's totally irrelevant," Perez added. Perez talked about his throttle application throughout the last qualifying lap at Monaco. "I'm just giving it everything, it is the last run of Q3. People just make mistakes, you know, and that's really it when you're chasing the lap time. But you can already see that from turn 1, I was playing with the throttle, trying to because it was where I was losing the lap time. And you can see already into turn 1 that I nearly lost it already." Perez confirmed that he was trying to improve the rotation around Portier with his throttle input, but this led to the crash. I have to say this, no official comment was made about this by Max, and we are at no liberty to suggest that this was the reason behind Max's actions at Brazil. All we are saying is that this could be the reason. Red Bull team released a statement which highlighted that the issue was talked about internally, and no other details of the conversation can be revealed. It makes total sense to avoid more controversy between the team and F1 fans. The statement also confirms that the issue has been looked into and that the team is at fault for most part, and that these situations will be handled better on future occasions. Now we have gone through all these, I would like to highlight certain mistakes which should have been done better to avoid such situations. First, if what Max said on the team radio is true, that they have talked on this before, the team should have never used team orders on the first place to swap the two drivers. They should have instead let the two drivers race till the last lap, just like what Mercedes did at Interlaagos. Another matter which I would highlight is the lack of communication between Max and the team. Max got the radio call on the last lap on the last few corners, with no reasoning given to him as to why the positions should be reversed. But when Sergio gave P6 to Max, he knew what was happening entirely, so a communication error played a huge role in this. I will not say that what Max Verstappen did was 100% correct. He had his reasons, which we do not know of accurately, but his team knows what they are even before the incident happened. So, Max is not at 100% fault here, but could he have done better? Yes, he could and should have done better for a teammate who has done everything in his power for Max at times when he needed Sergio to do. Max had nothing to lose. He had the Drivers' Championship sealed off at Suzuka, they had the Constructors' Championship sealed off at Austin, so Max had nothing to lose by giving up P6 to his teammate. From my point of view, Max's actions are justifiable, but he could have done better to help his teammate when he had the chance to do it with a 0% risk. Also, this would have been the best time for Max to show some support to this teammate, as Max might need Perez's help more than ever next season if Mercedes and Ferrari are able to produce competitive cars next season. But what do you guys think? Was Verstappen's actions correct or should he have done better? Let us know in the comments down below. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, it really helps to push our content out to more people. If you guys are interested in finding out how Mercedes were able to get their first win at Interlagos, click the video link shown on your screen now. And as always, thank you for watching this video, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on my next video.